It's right here. I got it. Okay. Now. Living on the edge, fighting crime, spinning webs, swinging from.
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. I wasn't planning on doing a review video on Stranger Things Season 4 until after the season was fully finished, because Netflix decided to do things weirdly and release the first 7 episodes right away, and then the remaining 2 episodes at a later date. My mind thought they were releasing June 1st. Then I just found out earlier today it's July 1st, an entire month not knowing what's gonna happen. I might as well talk about it to get it out of my system. But first I want to go ahead and thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is Jarritos. I'm not joking, your boy got sponsored by Jarritos. We made it, mama! I've been drinking Jarritos for as long as I can remember. They are truly a staple of my household growing up. From over 12 different flavors to choose from: lime, mandarin, pineapple, strawberry, watermelon, tamarindo. Jarritos are made with real sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, all natural flavors. The lime flavor has always been my personal favorite. I'm very thankful they hooked your boy up with his own little mini fridge that even has a lock on it, so I make sure nobody else is allowed around my Jarritos. So please, if you're someone who hasn't tried Jarritos or you need to restock up on it, go ahead and use the link in my description to find the store nearest you that is selling a pack of Jarritos. You can even get a pack like this to try out all 12 different flavors, that way you know which is your favorite. Thank you again to Jarritos for sponsoring today's video. So there will be spoilers involved with the first half of Stranger Things Season 4. If you have not finished it, then I suggest you do that, then come back to this video. And once you do, I really want to hear your thoughts on this latest season. Are you liking it? Is it your favorite? What are you not loving about it? What do you predict will happen in the final 2 episodes? We don't really get to have this with Netflix. They usually just dump it all at once, but this time we actually get to speculate a little bit about what might happen. So when it comes to Stranger Things, I've kind of always been up and down with the franchise. I like the first 2 seasons, but I was never really like over the moon, super in love with the show like a lot of people. But then season 3, I think, just found the perfect stride with what to do with the Stranger Things characters, cast, the storylines, the homages to other popular movies of that time frame, to where it just really worked for me, and that's when I ended up loving the show like a lot of people. And then with season 4 having people included like Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, I thought the design choice of this latest villain, Vecna, looked absolutely fantastic. I really wanted to see if they can knock it out of the park again, and for the most part, they have. I'm really enjoying season 4 so far. I do have a couple of gripes and complaints that I'll get to on in a sec, but I feel like this particular villain, Vecna, and their backstory is way more fleshed out than previous seasons with other villains, because sometimes it felt to me like almost every season of Stranger Things was a little bit standalone, because I never really felt the ultimate connection of one bad guy from the next each season. It just felt like the monster was getting bigger without us really understanding what's the ultimate goal here. But with Vecna, no, not only does he have an awesome scary design and voice to match it.
You think some letters are going to make things right?
He's given a really interesting backstory dating all the way back to 11 when she was first part of that compound. I loved how the show tied all of that together, and even how the first episode ends with the one cheerleader chick, Chrissy, thrown up into the air and turned into an origami piece. Even though it was a little CGI heavy, it was still a gruesome sequence that they continue to do every other episode. I guess the things I'm just really itching to talk about are some of the stuff that bugs me about this season, which again, I want to emphasize, I like this season. I'm digging it. I really want to see where the last 2 episodes go, but I also want to be honest and say, oh my goodness, do we not have enough characters? I think that's one of the biggest downfalls right now of Stranger Things, is they just continue to add new person after new person, expanded storylines, to where this season just feels like subplot the season. Like, I know they've done this before where there was like a main storyline and then there was like 2 or 3 other storylines going on that ultimately will connect to the big storyline, but this season, like, it has like 7 different stories, and sometimes it's hard to tell which is the main one we're supposed to be caring about right now. And statistically, with this many storylines, the audience is eventually going to come up with like 1 or 2 storylines they're not interested in, that every time the show cuts to them, you go, oh yeah, this is still happening. Okay, I guess I'll watch this. And it's kind of gotten back and forth with me. For a while, it was this whole subplot involving Eddie being chased down by the school kids. Like, I understand why that happened. I just don't know if I was that interested in seeing it go down. And like, I like the Eddie character, surprisingly. Every time they introduce someone new, they have to win you as an audience member to cheer for this person. So I didn't want any harm to come to Eddie or for him to take the fall for what happened to Chrissy. But I did think there was just other more interesting things going on than following him running away from from a couple of jocks. Sometimes I also felt like with the Hopper storyline of him in Russia, there was just parts of it missing and we just had to make a lot of assumptions, like how like from just the very beginning of the season, he already has an inside man trying to help him escape that eventually ends up double crossing him. It leads the mom something cool to do, to go after Hopper in such a badass way, and when they see each other again for the first time, it was so heartwarming. I just thought there was going to be more to Russian prisoners using Demogorgons, having them at their disposal, when in the end it just felt like a random sequence to include more Stranger Thing monsters in there. And man, can we talk about what happened to the Jonathan character this season? All of a sudden, this kid's now a stoner? Like, admittedly, Jonathan was like never really my favorite or even top 5 characters of the show, but when I was watching this season, I was like, did I miss something? When did he become this loser stoner?
What's going on? Your mom's going to Alaska. You're going to Alaska?
For a good while, he was like one of the main characters, the geek who got the girl Nancy. They're ending up together, they're gonna go to college, and now this season he's just always high and regretting his relationship with Nancy, wanting to stay back home. It feels to me like the show's set up so that they can get Nancy and Steve back together just because the general audience loves Steve way more than the character they intended to get that love. Which I guess I don't blame them, because I freaking love Steve also. He's doing great this season and he better not die by the end of this. So that's just like really my main gripe. There's just so many subplots and I kind of want the gang back together, and since we know there's only 2 episodes left, it's probably just gonna happen for the final episode. But whatever, because I want to talk about one of the best moments of this season, that Max sequence at the end of episode 4. That entire sequence and everything that leads up to it, with Max having seen the grandfather clock 24 hours before, solving the mystery that within a certain amount of time she's gonna end up floating in the air and dead. It was one of the most suspenseful and heart-wrenching moments that I didn't even realize I liked Max's character that much, that I was holding back my emotions going, oh my god, they're about to kill her, and all these flashback sequences, they're pulling at my heartstrings. And I feel like it was intentional also, but Vecna in those moments felt very Freddy Krueger-ish to me, like this was some sort of nightmare going on. This dude's in full control, that deep raspy voice. I even thought when she went ahead and ripped off a piece of him when she woke back up, she would have a piece of Vecna with her, kind of like Freddy Krueger. When you take something from him out of the dream, it comes with you in real life. I thought that's what they were going to pull there, but they didn't. But I am curious to see what will happen in the final 2 episodes, because while some people are saying that this is Netflix's way of separating the episodes and creating more hype, inside reports are saying that the final 2 episodes are just so VFX heavy, with them being in the Upside Down, that they actually just needed a little bit more time to finish those final 2 episodes, so they couldn't release them together. And you know, it's crazy to me that Netflix still runs on that model, because while we love the fact we can binge almost the entirety of the show in one sitting, from a business standpoint, I just think about how crazy the internet would have been going on a weekly basis with each one of these episodes. Like really just thinking about the amount of internet craze and hype from the end of episode 4 and how that would have resonated with us for a full week before we moved on to the next episode. It goes to show you that the Disney Plus model will work really well for some episodes. I just hope whatever happens, maybe Will gets a little bit more time to shine or something good happens to this kid, because I just feel bad for him. Because I saw some people bring up the fact that his mom once said his birthday was March 22nd, and in the show during the roller skating episode, a camera showed that it was March 22nd and not a single person wished this boy happy birthday. Pair in the fact his confused sexuality and his attraction it looks like he's having for Mike, like, I just want something good to happen to this kid, man. He's been through enough. But those are just some of my random thoughts I wanted to spew out with Stranger Things Season 4. I'm liking it. I hope the final 2 episodes nail it. I'll definitely make a video on those final 2 episodes. But until then, I want to know from you guys, what do you think of this season? What are your predictions, speculation, your favorite part? What didn't you like? I'd love to hear it all down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.